What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MLB First Look podcast. We are discussing here on Wednesday night, Thursday's five-game main slate. We do have, as oftentimes, a split slate on Thursday, but we're going to stick to the main slate as we usually do on this show. I'm your host. As always, you know my name by now, DraftCheat, and you should know his name by now as well, Gary USC, joining me to discuss this five-game Thursday slate. What's going on, Gary?
Not a whole lot, man. Nice full day of baseball tomorrow. We'll be concentrating on the five-game main slate, but I love baseball all day, especially when I'm working from home all day. So makes it nice.
Absolutely, you gotta love it. And I forgot to plug in my microphone before we started this podcast, so I'm going to plug it in now, and I think it will be a seamless transition. But why don't you introduce the slate, and hopefully this registers by the time I got to talk again.
Yeah, so we got five games. It's not pitching's a little hanky. Looking like I only like about three guys so far, so should be interesting. It's not a lot of offensive spots either, which is weird. I think there's one clear spot that'll be really chalky, but we'll see what you think on that.
Yeah, I think I'm recording to the microphone now. Hopefully it's all good to go. I'm kind of with you. It's one of those weird slates where typically it's like, oh man, the bats are in the by far the most advantageous spots, or it's like, oh, there's so many good pitchers that we want to roster. This is like a bunch of a decent but not fantastic pitchers, and then when that's the case, it's decent but not fantastic offensive spots or hitters or anything you want to look at. So it will be an interesting five-gamer, I think. We'll work through it. We'll go game by game. I think on shorter slates specifically, can perhaps be the better way to do it, because you can kind of just break down each pitcher, talk about where you might attack them with a stack or a one-off or, a mini stack, whatever it may be. So, yeah, let's jump into it. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. A lot to talk about here, specifically on the Brewers side of the baseball. Chad Cole pitching for Pittsburgh. I mean, he's been, I guess, I don't know. It's kind of surprising he's kind of still going in the league, given his horrible performance over the last few years, but he's been okay, I mean, I guess better than I would have thought coming into 2021. Still not a pitcher I don't think I have used yet, maybe once. So 6,400 against Milwaukee in Pittsburgh. I mean, like we said, pitching kind of sucks. So I'm not going to completely throw him out. I'm not a huge believer, but maybe. And then Freddie Peralta is the interesting talking point here, because we're seeing Milwaukee and we're in the middle of the trade season, right? We've seen, 10 plus trades so far, probably at least. I think we'll see another, I would guess, 20 at least. So we're going to see a lot of teams move. Milwaukee is going to add pieces they already have. Anyway, Freddie Peralta, been fantastic all season for Milwaukee. Gets a pretty good matchup here. I've been saying this matchup against Pittsburgh is not, it's not some slam dunk, but he has been very good, 10K even on DraftKings. The problem, though, is that the innings concern. And I've talked about this a lot over the course of the year on this podcast, especially some of these pitchers who do not have a long track record of throwing a lot of innings, and even those that do are going to have perhaps struggles down the stretch. And Freddie Peralta was rolling through 4 innings in his last start against the White Sox, 4 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, no earned runs, just a single hit. 17.2 DraftKings points over 4 innings and 51 pitches. He's on his way to perhaps, right, his best start of the year, I think, was in play in this one, and pulled out of the game. And it's not clear if this is going to happen again. I think Milwaukee has sights on a World Series, and they don't think they can push Peralta, Burns, and Woodruff 200 innings in the regular season, and then another 30 plus in the playoffs if you're getting all the way to the World Series. So it's, call them soft if you want, but they're being smart about it. And for DFS purposes, I mean, I don't know. My guess would be cut him to 51 and then kind of slowly ramp him back up, right? Maybe 51, 60, set, like ramp him back up, because when it comes to the playoffs, you want him to be able to go 100 pitches if he's rolling. But I think it could be a while before we see him there. So thoughts on that and Freddie Peralta, Chad Kuhl, this game in general?
Yeah, so I just pulled up an article on Peralta. He's already at his career high of innings in 98 innings. So, and it looks like they're doing some sort of 6-man rotation, but not every 6 days. Like I said, they might piggyback somebody on him here again. I could see them, against Pittsburgh. There's no need to. I don't think there's any need to push him in this game. So for 10K. I mean, Pittsburgh is, even though they dealt Frazier, they're still not striking out a lot, and they've been hitting a little bit recently too. Yeah. So,
too risky, right? Like, it's not like a guaranteed smash. Even if you told me he was going to throw 100 pitches, like, it still wouldn't be a total lock.
And he probably gets us 15 DraftKings points. Like, if you guarantee me that he's going to get us 15 DraftKings points, would you play him?
Maybe. I mean, he would certainly be in my pool at if I was playing a number of teams, because it's not like there's any pitcher that's even guaranteed to get to 15 on this 5-game slate. So maybe we'll get some. Tough. But it's just I was just about to say maybe we'll get some clarification. But like, why would the Brewers tell us when they're going to remove Freddie Peralta? That would not do them any good whatsoever, right? Like, they're trying to lock down, the NL Central. They're not going to tell the other team what they're going to do with their pitching. Yeah. Like, it would make no sense whatsoever to do that. So we just don't know. I suspect Peralta will be slowly ramped back up from that 51, but I mean, they could keep him in the 50 to 60 range for 3 or 4 starts, 5 starts. We just don't know. So I think Peralta will pitch well for sure when he's in there. How long that will be, we don't know. And I'll probably pass on both these guys. What about hitters?
Probably Milwaukee a little bit for me.
Milwaukee.
I mean, they've been hitting a little bit recently too, under the radar. I mean, the numbers aren't really that good, but I mean, I just look at the box scores and just watching the games and on the MLB app all the time. And,
sure.
They're not hitting bombs, but they're creating runs a lot. So
is it? Is it fair to say that they almost seem like a little Giants-esque to me, where they're kind of like a lot of platoon bats and they're mixing and matching and like playing really smart with the pinch hitters and all that. So it's like they're kind of.
And they could get Escobar in the lineup tomorrow too. So I don't know how they just traded for Eduardo Escobar, so I don't know if he's going to be available tomorrow too. But that'll be another bat in there.
Yeah, he certainly could be, and he'll be a boon to that team. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how these teams kind of transform down the stretch. But yeah, Milwaukee bats would be the way here. I don't think I'm going to Pittsburgh hitters. I mean, maybe Brian Reynolds. He's just so good.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of willing to roster him because you get him at, you get him at like 2. I think I have him at 1% tonight. Like, he's not like going crazy, but it's just still, I mean, for a relatively cheap guy who's hitting like he is, take a shot there. But that's Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. We're going to have question marks on a lot of these games going just throughout talking about the slate. That's going to be a theme, I think, through the end of baseball DFS, is trying to play the probabilities right. I mean, that's the name of the game anyway, but now we've got more variables thrown in. Anyway, Toronto and Boston, Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill for Boston. He's been pretty good, I guess. Rough start last time. Was that a start? He came out after 1 inning. Yeah, okay, I remember this now. He came out.
He was sick or something.
Yeah, he had a migraine, I think is what they said, which probably fine, I would guess. But still, I don't know if I want to play him against Toronto in Fenway. And then Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Blue Jays. I have not been good at predicting the Ryu good performances. He's not a guy. He's been a really, on the service level pitcher over the last 4 years. Like, if you just look at, I think he's like 2nd or 3rd in ERA over the last 5 years among all qualified pitchers. So can't deny his effectiveness, but I mean, I feel like
tough. Yeah, these two guys are in the same bucket as Heaney is.
They're similar pitchers, right? Lefties, you just don't really trust them, but they do get the job done usually. So
And they're facing two great offenses.
yeah, I'm
Plus,
passing on both these pitchers. I'll put
Yeah.
it out there. I'm not playing.
Plus, I'm seeing the site that I look at, there's possible rain in this game too, so that would even muddy the waters even further on the pitchers here. But I do like the bats on both sides here for sure.
Yeah, which side do you like better, Toronto or Boston bats?
I definitely always lean Toronto. I just love their lineup. It's right-handed heavy. They're obviously going to be I would imagine they're probably going to be the chalkiest offense on the slate. Just how the slate looks.
I think that's fair, and I feel more confident. Like, I think Eduardo Rodriguez gets blown up a higher percentage of the time here than Ryu does, right? Would be of my tiebreaker there. They're basically the same price point, $8,600 for Ryu, $8,800 for Rodriguez. Neither of us are super interested there. Wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys pitched well, but I could see also a very, very high-scoring game in Boston. We'll see if the weather holds, but yeah, give me the bats here, specifically the Toronto guys. I just don't really trust Eduardo Rodriguez, honestly, especially coming off, pitches one inning, and I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I like Toronto a ton. Like you mentioned, they'll be popular. I think they should be. And I'll pass, I think, on both those pitchers. Baltimore and Detroit. We've seen Detroit kind of have a pretty nice surge here. They're playing well. I think their future looks pretty bright to me. And they'll get Alexander Wells, a lefty for Baltimore. Baltimore they just don't have their lineup's kind of coming together, I think, for the future, but they just don't have a lot of pitching. And then Casey Mize for Detroit, who's been pretty good, I think in his is this his rookie year? Did he play much last year? I can't remember. I think he did a little bit, but
I think he did a little bit.
Yeah, but he's been solid, right? I mean, for a young pitcher, I think getting better too. Him and Matt Manning. Manning hasn't been great. Manning's been bad, but I have been impressed with improvements. We've seen Tariq Skubal have his moments, right? Like, this staff does seem like one on the rise, and so does the lineup. So, if I'm on the Detroit side of this one. I think Mize is a decent play at home here against Baltimore, 6,900. They're kind of letting him go. Again, we do have to be slightly concerned with the pitch count, but let him go 79 pitches last time out. I think they're going to work him back up, it seems like, is what they were saying. And he wasn't even pitching that well, and they let him throw 79 pitches. So I think we'll see Mize above 80 on the pitch count here. If that's the case, 6,900 against Baltimore. Again, not a cakewalk, but pretty good price point. So I kind of like Mize.
Yeah, I'm on Mize too. Baltimore's just been – they've been really bad the last few weeks versus righties. And they're right-handed heavy team for the most part, and Mize struggles a lot with the lefties. So, he's got to navigate Mullins and maybe Santander. And that's about it. So, yeah, I'm in on Mize. And, Detroit scored 16 or 17 runs today, and they didn't even hit a home run. So imagine if they start hitting bombs again. Yeah. I'm definitely in on Detroit here.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, you get a good matchup right from the get-go against Wells, and it's hard to predict exactly who Baltimore's going to bring into the game after that, but
yeah,
not anybody very good. So, yeah, give me Detroit. They seem like they're rolling right now. Badu, if he's in there against a lefty, I think he will be. I think he got 3 hits today against a lefty on the mound. It was J Happ, but not that Wells is much different. But even beyond that, Eric Haas is like just an elite play. Grossman, I've liked what I've seen from Willie Castro, especially from swinging from the right side. So, yeah, give me Detroit. Give me Mize. Give me the Detroit bats. I think that's a strongest take, and we're 60% through this slate. Only a couple more games to go. Oakland and the LA Angels. Frankie Montas pitching for Oakland. He's been pretty rock solid, especially recently. Just a good pitcher. A little bit of a disappointing start to the year for him, but I'm still a believer. Of course, Shohei Ohtani is going to be a good play as always against Frankie Montas, but I do like Montas overall, especially if Jared Walsh remains out of the lineup. I'm not sure exactly what his status will be. And then Alex Cobb, I think, is a little bit interesting as well. He's pitched well this year. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of whiffs. Oakland definitely not a terrible lineup by any means, but not one that I'm like running away from. I don't know if either of these guys are on the trade block. Montas definitely not, right? Oakland is
No.
Montas is not going anywhere. Cobb maybe,
and they just got Starling Marte too, so he might be in the lineup.
he should
tomorrow.
be. I would imagine so. Yeah, Montas isn't going anywhere. Oakland's not trading anyway. Any good?
They gave up Luzardo though. Has he kind of fizzled out a little bit or what?
Luzardo.
Yeah.
I think. Well, he did not pitch well this year for the A's and has kind of been up and down with injuries. But I like the trade. I really like that trade for both sides, to be honest.
Miami's loaded with pitching. I mean, they're absolutely loaded.
So I mean, Luzardo still, what is he, 23, 24? He's still touching 97 from the left side with pretty good breaking balls. He might just need a change of scenery. It's not like Oakland's a dumb organization and doesn't know how to, develop a pitcher. So from that angle, I'm like, well, maybe there's just something, but there's not anything wrong with Luzardo. He's got an electric arm. There's no question about it. So I'm interested to see what the Marlins can do with him. And then Marte, you're making a push for the playoffs, for the World Series. It's a great piece to add. So this is one of those straight. I like it. I think it was just straight up 1-for-1. And any of you season-long players out there, I know there are a number of you that listen. I like adding Luzardo. He's available in almost every league, and I think the Marlins, who are really short on pitching, right? Because Rogers is on the DL, Pablo Lopez is on the DL, Sixto Sanchez is done for the season. Alcantara is still going, but he could be on a innings limit at some point, especially with them kind of shutting it down. So I think Luzardo is going to go into that rotation. I think they're going to give him a shot these last 2 months. And I wouldn't be shocked if Luzardo went on a run in Miami, right? It just wouldn't shock me whatsoever. So he's a fun ad for season long. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, thoughts on Oakland and LA. I think you're on Montas as well.
Yeah, I love Montas. I see Jared Walsh went on the IL today, so he's not going to be in the lineup. Just have to navigate Ohtani here. I mean, he could hit a bomb, and Montas will still crush pretty well for us. So I think he's a little bit underpriced for this matchup too. He's definitely my favorite pitcher on the top tier. And Cobb, I can't do Cobb. I don't like starting pitchers coming off the IL, especially when they had a blister.
Yeah.
It's Marte's coming in the lineup. I like Oakland.
I don't really trust Cobb here either. Yep.
Yeah, I like the Oakland bats here in this spot. I mean, there's not a lot of ways to get different on the slate. I don't think Oakland. They'll probably be somewhat popular. It's only a 5-game slate, so. But I'm going to try to find a way, and it looks like Marte's already in the pool for Oakland. So, yeah, I'm definitely on the Oakland bats here and Montas for sure.
Yeah, we're on the same page there. I might sprinkle in Cobb, and then also if I'm not playing Montas, I'll probably play Ohtani in those lineups because I do think Montas will be popular. And I don't think I need to speak too long about Ohtani. He's just
he's just phenomenal.
Yeah, he's incredible. All right, last game of the night: Colorado, San Diego. Joe Musgrove pitching for the Padres. Been a little bit of a fall from grace for Joe Musgrove. Not that he's been terrible, but he started out the year. I mean, I think we were talking went from Pittsburgh to San Diego. He's going to be like the best pitcher ever, threw a no-hitter. He's been okay since then, but not really, not someone that you've needed pretty much on any slate, to be honest. So this could be one that you need him. I mean, it's a 5-game slate. He's still one of the better pitchers, in my opinion, on the slate. And he gets Colorado, right? Story had a home run tonight. He might not be on the team tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do like Joe Musgrove. I have my doubts about him. I think he's been affected by the foreign substance crackdown, but still a pitcher that I kind of like just in general. Kyle Freeland has had 5 pretty good starts in a row, which I didn't really see coming. I mean, 2 were against the Dodgers, Padres, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. Like not cakewalk starts. So I don't know if you have a Kyle Freeland take. Seems like a bad spot for him, but he was pretty good against San Diego last time out, 6,100. I'm not saying I'm going to play Kyle Freeland, but I do think you'll see a lot of people go to San Diego.
Yeah, for sure. San Diego's definitely going to be popular. I'm not a Freeland guy, and I'm definitely not a Musgrove guy either. I'm on team fade, Snell and Musgrove. I told everybody today, don't play Snell. Please don't play Snell. He's just not right, and he got smashed.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see the Padres definitely going hard after Max Scherzer.
They need him bad.
They definitely need him, and they would be a good fit here. Instead, I think that's why they kind of pulled back the reins.
Scherzer's moving teams. I think it's pretty clear at this point.
And he wants to come to the West Coast.
It's going to be the Padres or the Dodgers, and I think
he's definitely made it known that he wants to go to the West Coast. He wants to win. He wants a place that he can re-sign long term too. So, yeah, I don't like either pitcher here. Musgrove is always chalk, and he's definitely going to be chalk on a 5-game slate against Colorado. And
yeah, no question about that. No question.
I am not doing it. Yeah. I'm telling you, at 10:25 Eastern time the night before that I will not be playing Joe Musgrove.
That's fair. I mean, there aren't that many good options, but yeah, I hear you. You're playing Casey Mize over Musgrove is kind of
100%
where you're putting your line in the sand, right?
Yeah,
I don't disagree with it at all, but it seems like that's just based on this conversation. That's where you're going.
That's it. And like I said, if Story's in there tomorrow, I might get crazy and throw a little Colorado stack in there. I'm not ashamed. I mean, they've been putting up, a couple nights ago they put up 12 runs. Story just hit another bomb. I don't know what the score is right now, but they're hitting a little bit recently, and they've struck out the least in the league since the 1st of July.
That's
overall,
which
is crazy to me.
Yeah. It's almost hard to believe. I do believe you, but it's almost hard to believe. But yeah,
they have an 18% strikeout rate.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to fade Joe Musgrove anyway. So yeah, there we go. I'm in. Yeah, kind of a tough 5-game slate for sure. If you get the 2, I don't think there's going to be that many pitchers that do well. If you get the 2 that do, seems like we are on Mize and Montas probably is where I see myself ending up. I feel pretty confident based on our conversation that that's where you might end up as well. Feel pretty good about that, right? You fill it out from there. You make sure to get, I don't know, on these short slates, I like to get if I don't have Peralta, I want to get my favorite Pittsburgh bat against him, which would be Brian Reynolds. If I don't have Eduardo Rodriguez, Toronto, you could maybe take a couple. Ryu, you would want to take your favorite bat against him, whether that's JD Martinez or a number of options there, or Hunter Renfroe. You go cheap, whatever. So, yeah, I think roster construction is going to be important on the slate, and trying to get 2 pitchers who do pretty well, because it's going to be tight. There's not going to be a lot of it doesn't seem like, at least, great performances from the pitching. And you get the 1 or 2 stacks that hit, and you're off to the races. So that's Thursday's 5-game main slate. Final words, Gary, for the people.
Yeah, just like I said, it looks like we're pretty dialed in the night before on 2 pitchers.
Yep.
You're just gonna have to mix and match the stacks. There's 3 or 4 stacks there, so I mean you can get different and how you construct your lineups, putting one-offs in there and whatnot. So, but yeah. I like the slate personally. I like these smaller slates.
Yeah, me too. And we do have all-day baseball too. So we got I think a 5 or 6 game early slate, something like that as well. We'll have content, of course, for all slates and free show. We have it every single day on YouTube. You can search Run for Your Sports on YouTube. That usually kicks off at 4:30 Eastern time. And then we've got the premium Up to Lock show, which starts at an hour and 5 or an hour and 10 minutes before lock, and typically runs for an hour and a half is kind of the standard time, depending on what's going on, if we're monitoring any news or if we're just having a good time and bullshitting and all that. So all good stuff. Thanks for listening. As always, we do appreciate the support. If you want to join the team at Run for Your Sports, we got football coming up. Content going to be rolling out soon. You can use promo code RPSHeater25 for 25% off your first monthly payment. That'll do it for us, Gary. This podcast will return tomorrow, same place, same time. He is Gary. I'm DC. We'll check you next time.